The story of the BlackBerry Priv is predominantly uplifting. It's clear that BlackBerry has put a lot of thought into this device because they know very well that if this device isn't well received, it could very well be the end of BlackBerry. Gone are the days of the BlackBerry OS. The BlackBerry Priv has adopted Android. This is my review of the BlackBerry Priv 1 week later. From a hardware standpoint, there's a lot to like about the Priv. On the back, we have a soft touch rubbery plastic back cover that provides a lot of grip. The phone is not going to slip out of your pocket easily, nor is it going to slip out of your hand easily, since the material stretches around to the sides of the device as well. So my only complaint with the back cover is that it is a bit squishy. There is some space between the back cover material and what I assume is the battery that lies directly underneath that makes the device feel less solid in the hand. When I first laid hands on this device, it made me think the back cover was removable, but in fact it is not. What's surprising is that the Priv features a microSD card slot for expandable storage at the top of the device next to the SIM card slot, so you can add to the 32 gigabytes of storage that is already built into this device. The front of the device is really where BlackBerry has put in the most time. We have a front-facing stereo speaker on the bottom, and the glass on top of the 5.4-inch QHD AMOLED display is curved. What this does is allows you to seamlessly open up menus and slide through your home screens in a very natural and very fluid movement. Your finger quite simply slides smoother over a curved edge than a flat, abrupt edge, which can be found on most devices. It's a very nice touch and is something that you won't truly appreciate or possibly even understand until you use the device in person. The display itself is a 5.4-inch QHD AMOLED display with a very high 540 pixel per inch index. Because it's an AMOLED display and not an LCD panel, black colors will be much more deep and color accurate, while colors themselves will appear more vivid and saturated. It also has the ability to save some battery life since it does not use power to light up black colors. I'm a big fan of the display quality as well as the display size. In my opinion, it's not too big nor is it too small. Now, arguably the most unique feature of the BlackBerry Priv is of course the slide out QWERTY keyboard, which also lies on the front of the Priv, but it's hiding. So there's a very lovely metal lip that allows the screen to slide up and reveal the physical keyboard. Not only are the keys backlit on this keyboard, but the keys themselves are touch sensitive. So you can use your finger to actually swipe on the keys themselves to swipe throughout the display and navigate the OS from left to right, from up to down. It all works. There's even some special shortcut keys on the keyboard itself to activate certain functions on Android. Now, as for how the keyboard performs, this is where the saying different strokes for different folks comes in. There's a fair amount of travel for a QWERTY keyboard, but I can't say that I prefer it over an on-screen keyboard, only because I've been using on-screen keyboards for years. If you've been using physical QWERTY keyboards for years, you'll probably really enjoy this physical keyboard more than the on-screen keyboard. I will say that, ladies, you will really love the physical keyboard if you have long nails. It's something to really seriously consider if you have long fingernails and need to type a lot of emails or messages for work. As for the software, I mentioned it runs Android 5.1 Lollipop, and you can tell BlackBerry put a lot of thought into the software as well because they left a lot of the iconic stock Android elements in the Priv, something that a lot of techies and tech reviewers like myself really love. They've added a lot of features into these traditional stock Android menus and animations without completely removing them and adding their own skin. For example, the app drawer opens up with the lovely material design animation, and it scrolls vertically like in stock Android Marshmallow. But you'll see that if you swipe to the left, you'll find a section for widgets, and if you swipe again to the left, you'll find some BlackBerry shortcuts that can be added to your home screens. They are essentially little widgets that activate specific tasks when tapped on, and there's quite a lot of them here to help you automate and navigate your device in a very speedy fashion. If you slide down the notification panel, you'll see that the notification tray more or less resembles stock Android, but BlackBerry once again has added their own little touch. They've added one little unique feature, the ability to sort through the notifications by tapping on one of the app icons with a little red asterisk. It's these little refinements and add-ons that I think Google could learn a lot from to just improve the overall stock Android experience. You can also hold down the home button to get access to Google Now, as well as BlackBerry Device Search and BlackBerry Hub, both of which can be customized in the settings. The Overview tab has also been refined to present open applications in a grid-like layout. They aren't presented in a card-like layout, but I see no problem with this layout. In a lot of ways, it's actually easier to view each open app. I especially enjoy the Clear All button at the top. But Blackberry Hub is probably my favorite BlackBerry app as it combines BlackBerry Messenger, text messages, emails, and call logs all into one app. It's incredibly convenient. One neat little software trick that takes advantage of the curved glass is the Edge feature, which was first found on the S6 Edge and S6 Edge Plus, I believe. It's a tab that can be placed on the left or right hand side of the device at various heights and various transparencies, and it gives you access to events, unread messages, tasks, and favorite contacts. It's just another very useful feature. I could go probably on and on talking about the software features in the Priv, but these are my most used and my most favorite features. So with that behind us, how does the device perform? Inside, it packs a Snapdragon 808 hexa-core processor with 3 GB of RAM that allows it to compete with many flagship smartphones on the market. In real-world usage, I experienced no lag or inconsistent speed in my week of testing, opening and closing applications, updating my social networks, reading and responding to emails, switching between running applications. The device performed very well. Geekbench 3 gives it a respectable 1200 single-core score and 3500 multi-core score, which isn't the best, but it's certainly not the worst. The BlackBerry Priv also features a one-of-a-kind 18-megapixel Snyder cruise notch camera sensor with optical image stabilization and an f2.2 aperture. It delivers some pretty solid results in well-lit scenarios. It does suffer in low-lit areas, as do most smartphone camera sensors, but overall, it's certainly not a disappointment like previous BlackBerry camera sensors. As for the speaker quality, I do love how the BlackBerry Priv features a front-facing speaker. For that reason alone, I think it's better than 95% of smartphone speakers. However, the sound quality, is just okay. It's not very crisp, and the bass is pretty weak. I did notice some excessive noise here and there too, especially at low volumes. The battery life of the Priv is also pretty solid with all things considered. I was able to get a little more than 4 hours of screen on time with the screen brightness near about 70%. It does also feature quick charging and wireless charging, which is much appreciated. All in all, the BlackBerry Priv is one of the most surprising smartphones of the year. Although it does get pretty warm under heavy usage, there is no fingerprint scanner, and it is relatively expensive. I think the BlackBerry Priv has what it takes to reinvigorate BlackBerry's brand through the adoption of Google's Android OS, which in effect opens its doors to a wider range of users, those of which who aren't necessarily business-oriented. If you're in the market for a flagship smartphone that'll be able to last you for the next couple of years, you may seriously want to consider the BlackBerry Priv. If I'm able to spend more time with this device, I'll be sure to share my updated thoughts with you. You can always follow me on Twitter at BeauHD. With that said, I want to thank AT&T for sending me this unit to review for you all. The BlackBerry Priv is currently available on AT&T for about $250 with a 2-year contract, about $25 a month with AT&T Next, or about $740 off contract. I'm BeauHD from PhoneDog.com. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new about the BlackBerry Priv. I will see you right back here in the next one. See ya.